Pisani, inflation-fighting ETFs are all the rage right now, but there's a bewildering variety to choose from. Let's talk about that with Kevin O'Leary, chairman of O-Shares. Kevin, with inflation such an issue, how are you positioned and what should investors be considering to address inflation?
So in inflationary times, all of a sudden quality really matters, cash flow matters, distributions in the form of dividends matter, and sectors that have pricing power in inflationary times. And so one of the reasons we've seen such pressure in tech is that PEs tend to get compressed. And so if you're going to be using an ETF, you want it to be something that's got diversity around sectors that are really strong in pricing power. So think about this. Healthcare right now, as we're coming out of the pandemic at some point, all the elective surgeries that haven't happened for the last 2 years will come piling in. That matters. So obviously, I'm talking my own book when I say this, but I love what we've done at O-Shares because we focus on quality and cash distributions. OUSA is up to 40% of my holdings now. It is an ETF that's designed to have high quality pieces of the S&P. So it gets rid of, it's a rules-based ETF that says, give me companies that do well in inflation that have pricing power. So do people pay for consumable goods in inflationary times? Yes, they do. They have to eat. They've got to buy healthcare products, and they have to do things that they do every day, even though these companies have the ability to raise prices as inflation comes in, and they certainly have. That's why we're seeing inflation in aggregate at 7%. But the market hasn't corrected significantly because the companies that are bolstering the 500, the S&P 500 now, are the ones I'm talking about, like the ones inside of OUSA.
Yeah, I see your O-Shares Quality Dividend ETF. You were just talking about trading about in line with the markets right now. You've got companies like Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, Microsoft, Home Depot, Verizon in here. All of them high quality, high dividend yield. Is that an effective inflation fighting strategy right now, given what we're dealing with?
Yes, it is. And one other attribute, I like boring. Big and boring, big fat cash flows. That's what I like, because at times like this, when you have a portfolio of high quality names, you reduce your volatility. That's what OUSA is designed to do, to track the index with a lot less volatility. And that's what it's done for years. And I like that when you're trying to preserve wealth. At a time like this, there'll be a lot of volatility. And the other area to look at these days is people have ignored the European postal code for years. They hate Europe for whatever reason. However, there are some massive companies over there now really poised to do well in inflationary times, particularly in healthcare and consumables as well. Names like Nestle that people think is an American company, it's actually Swiss. That's inside of OEUR, which is a European index of 50 really big, really high quality, and really boring companies, just like I like them.